Well, hi. Welcome. Already I got a tickle. I think there's somebody behind me with a feather. Heather. Heather. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings, midweek edition, Wednesday, the 6th of November, a day I'll always remember because that was the day I ate my first quarter pounder with cheese. It could have been. I was at McDonald's when they cooked the first quarter pounders. I think I was the crew chief by then. I always tried to find the job where I did the least amount of work. Tedward is here. Ted Richards. Hi, Jack. A great day today. Yes, 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 yes. Last night was a great night, and it spilled over into today, didn't it? Did I say welcome to Worldwide Ramblings? I did. Um, Moonshine. Well, that's on November 12th. My Moonshiners returns to Discovery. I'll give up Jesse for that at 8 o'clock, I think, on Tuesday, November 12th, the 14th season of Moonshiners. Can you believe it? And they said it wouldn't last. They said it wouldn't last. Where's my other glasses? Yeah, this just doesn't go with red. I have to have the clear ones. I feel silly. I feel silly, but not pretty. I feel silly. Okay, pretty and well, that word has a whole different meaning now than it had when they sang that song originally. Gay meant happy. Well, that's what it meant. It meant you were filled with what's that word? Frivolity? No, that's not the word. That word. I don't know. I'm all confused, Cheryl Everhart. How are you? Pam Donnelly. I worked election polls yesterday. Long day. I know people that have done that. It's it's a long day, as you say. They pay pretty well here in New York. I don't know where you are. Refresh my memory. Did you get pizza? Did you get Dunkin' Donuts? What'd you get? What'd you get? It's never healthy food at the polling station. Yeah, forget that. Cindy in South Louisiana, my husband and I both voted yesterday on the day of, and I'm so happy we did. Well, absolutely. You just, you know, you just got to do it. I mean, when Biden called us garbage, those of us who support Donald Trump, that was like there's never been a better recruiting than that. I mean, Hitler was pretty good, but when he said that the Trump supporters are garbage, oh, I'll tell you, there's some bubbas that weren't going to vote that said, well, I'll be going to the polling station. I'll be going, Marty Greco. You know what I mean? Hi, Jack and everyone. Hey, Marty. How are you, Marty? Got an email from Marty talking about the gentleman from Kool and the Gang that was at Pastor Bob's church on Sunday. Um, this is the man who co-wrote Celebration, which is an iconic song. I mean, think about it. It's probably been played at a million weddings. What wedding didn't play Celebration at some point? And they had a chain of hits, Kool and the Gang, starting off, I think, with Jungle Boogie, and then Hollywood Swingin', Celebration, and then they went on into the later years to have hits like Too Hot, Burn Your Fingers, Burn Your Fingers. Yeah, baby. Sorry. Vera is here, Vera Regaldo. Hello, Jack from Austin, Texas, the place I long to get to. Well, I'll tell you, Vera, you should make your way up to New Braunfels, if I'm saying that right. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday to see 18-time Grammy winner Jimmy Sturr. Go up to him when he's on break and say, Jack Willard sent me. He'll know me. Somewhere I have my spots that I did for Jimmy. His polka weekend spot. Where did I put those? They're in a file somewhere. But you'd have a great time because there's like 3 or 4 bands there. Thousands of people go, I guess. And Jimmy does some rock and roll. He does country. He does polka. He does big band. Definitely does country there in Texas. Hey, hey, Paula from Pennsylvania. You came through, Paula. I mean, I don't know what your politics are. I know I shouldn't be assuming, but we're happy about Pennsylvania. I mean, that's too wonderful of a state to vote for progressives, if you ask me, in my humble opinion. Fetterman is, sort of became middle of the road, and we're very glad that Senator Fetterman, who was a terrible Joyce in the beginning, has seemingly recovered. He's seemingly recovered, and that's wonderful. It was a fast recovery too. There was a time when he couldn't really put a sentence together, just like our president of the United States, till the 19th through the 19th of January. Could you imagine? I'm just saying, I shouldn't pontificate about these kind of thoughts, but if President Bible, President Biden, I didn't say Bible, I won't call him that. President Biden was not able to finish his term, she could become the first female president through January 19th. Think about that, Justin Battinger. Yeah. Hello, Jack. Hi, Justin. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have everybody aboard here. In fact, there's 32 already. We're going to show a few of my Google photos that came in. Construction continues at Household of Faith, the new building, which is a horse stable being converted into a church on the 9 acres of land about 10 minutes away from where the sanctuary, it's way too small, is now. First, I heard 400 seats. I might have even heard 500. And I said, there's no way they're going to get 500 seats in there. And now I'm hearing 200, which is only 75 more than they have now. So they're going to need to build that sanctuary. But then what happens when you need overflow? Because 75 more people in peak times is not that hard to imagine. In January or February, maybe not so much, but I'm hearing the summer of 2025. Really? Put that down with things I don't understand. I don't understand children with cancer at St. Jude's, and I don't understand why that church can't be open before the summer of 2025. When I think of all the aspects of things, I mean, they put up a Dollar General in 2 months. Come on. Come on. Come on. Is there really a money issue? I think there's people right down there at Mar-a-Lago that make that happen lickety split. Have you ever had an ice cream cone from Lickety Split? Me either, but I think it's in Maybrook, New York, Lickety Split. I think so. We definitely have one somewhere around here, but I've never been. I'm a Carvel man myself, but there are some nice custard stands, as they call them. Most of them have closed now. So let's show these. So in case someone tuned in just for content, 40 people watching right now. The Google photos came in, and they're putting things together. They're putting things together at Household of Faith in the former horse stable barn. I think the plan is or was to build a full sanctuary there with hopefully a lot more seats than that. And I would think they'd put a house on that 9 acres too, surround it all, make it secure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And have somebody there. Don't rely on an alarm system. No. You need a couple of human beings. Human beings. What's that song from the Human Beings? Is it I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night? I think so. Or is that the Electric Prunes? I always confuse the Electric Prunes with the Human Beings. Joey, you tell me which one is right, for I had too much to dream last night. Can you do it for me? Linda Justice, hey, Jack. Hi. Tanya Sears Roebuck. Hi, Jack. Welcome. Yes, so that'd be a good idea, Vera. You probably won't do it, but you'd enjoy yourself if you went to see Mr. Jimmy Sturr. I'd love to be there. I was thinking about it. I mean, I'll see him in December for 2 Christmas shows back to back. One, that's very different from the other one, though. And, let's see here. Another picture of the work that's being done on the horse stable to get the sanctuary ready. You got some eats there, right? Yeah. And here's Pastor Bob and 3 of the people that are working. They all look like fine, hardworking Christian gentlemen. They do. It's coming together. It's coming together. That guy next to Pastor Bob reminds me of a heavyset Christopher Knight from the Brady Bunch. I don't know why. First time I saw that picture, I said, "That's Chris Knight." Oh dear. Very, very nice. Thank you, Google Photos, for coming through on those because when I try to show them, especially live, I can mess around with it if it's pre-recorded, and, do take 2 and all that, but I can't do that live. Live is live. Black is black. I want my baby back. I want President Trump back. I don't wanna wait till January 20th, Pam Donnelly. I don't. Let me get down to the bottom of the list here. Hi, Tammy DeVoe. I said that right. Downtown William Brown, Graceland number 2. Yeah, on the grounds of the 9 acres. I like it. I like it. TBN, when they built their, it's not really in Dallas, but they call it Dallas. I think it was in Arlington, the TBN Texas headquarters. The main headquarters was and probably still is in Santa Ana, California. But, when they built the Texas studio, it was a lot more than just a studio. It was designed to look somewhat like the White House. It was white with the pillars and everything. It was designed to look like the White House. Yes, that is where your tax-free donations go to extravagance. But why does it have to be crappy? We don't want the Lord's house to be crappy. Jerry Adams, I think you're new. I think so. Although there was an Adams here, someone from the Adams family, perhaps. Did you ever go to Bob Joyce's church? And will you see Bob Joyce? Have you ever been to the church? I guess that's what you're saying. No, it's being talked about. It's being talked about. See, if I drove to see my son in Austin, Texas, he's really outside of Austin, Texas, then I'd be going right by Benton. I drove by Benton once, but it was on a Wednesday, Tuesday, something like that, coming back from Texas. The times didn't line up, but I could make them line up. But it's not cheap. It's not cheap. Belinda Taylor, hi everyone from Chesapeake, Virginia. Virginia came through for Trump. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, it was just grand. People, he was carrying states that they did not think he would take, like Virginia, although Governor Youngkin kept updating him. And at one point he said, Mr. President, I don't think we got it within reach. And then he called him back and said, forget what I said. I think we do have it within reach. So it's a mandate. How appropriate him being a man, an alpha male. So I was on pins and needles Tuesday evening, and I kept going out and praying in the yard. And I would keep reminding the Lord that you say in your word, Lord, you will not be mocked. These people are openly mocking you. I just stand on your word and I pray that you will make your presence known in this election. And I believe he did. He did in a big way. He did because he was winning things that, I know that Kamala is one of the most terrible candidates of all time. I get that. 5 months ago, nobody wanted her. The squad, even when it became clear that Biden wasn't going to do it because they ran him out of town, so to speak. Um, the squad was saying AOC, Alexander Ocasio Cortez. I can't say it the way that Tucker says it. He says it better. Or is that I'm thinking also of Michael Savage says it with a lot of finesse, a lot of finesse. Um, um, AOC said, well, there's other people besides Kamala. Doesn't have to be her. Nobody wanted her. Absolutely nobody. Just like when she ran for president, she dropped out before the first primary. So Jerry Bridges, don't tell me I froze up. Did I freeze up? Don't say that. You scare me, Jerry. There's no indication that I did. Did I freeze up anybody? Or is that his cable system? Jerry, I told you not to go for the cheap package, but you wouldn't listen to me. People are still writing, and they're not saying that I froze up. Jerry Adams says, for a pastor like Bob Joyce that plays music, he had to see Elvis Presley a long time ago. Write slower, Jerry. I only rarely play music, and it has to always be in a pre-recorded video. Like I did play Elvis singing America for the 4th of July. And what usually happens is they say that you can, you know, it has to be pre-recorded so YouTube has time to think about whether I can play it. And it takes 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. I'm waiting for the decision. And often what happens is they say you can play it, but you can't monetize the video, you know? So other than that, being a disc jockey for years, I wish I still had a show playing music. I'd love to. I'd love to play music. You can get away with stuff that's copyright free for themes and stuff like that. But when I do my series, I call it Homage to Rush, paying tribute to the greatest of all times in talk radio, Rush Limbaugh, El Rushbo. I used the Pretender song, his theme song, My City Was Gone, all about Ohio. Well, Ohio's coming back, Pretenders. They're coming back. I can't monetize. I have 4. I think I'm pretty proud of the 4 Homage to Rush shows. We did one today and released it. Haven't checked the current numbers, but it's not setting the night on fire. So please watch the Homage to Rush series. I don't have a political audience, but I have a lot of people who like Trump. I can't get it to the people that might give it a shot, because they never know it exists. People that like Bob Joyce, they get notifications, it works like that. That's my hot topic. So Helen B, what can I do? What could I do? I got all choked up and I threw down my gun, caught him my paw, and he called me his son. And I walked away with a different point of view. Helen B, hijacking everyone. I'm just about to hit the road. Hit the road. Oh, great. Don't be looking at me now, but to use me as a radio, like you're listening to FM radio, you can do that. How far do you have to go? How far? If you're too much of a rush, I understand. James, Elon Musk is for putting chips in your brain. Oh boy. He probably could have said something like that. Are you for putting chips in your brain? He also is for a robot takeover. Now you're going too far into the extreme, James, from the Department of Redundancy Department. No, he's a good guy, Elon, but sometimes he has crazy ideas and then he just modifies them. That's what a genius does. You do realize he's a genius, right? So when you're dealing with someone who's a genius, they think very fast. And look, he actually got that rocket up and got it back down. President Trump was amazed. So, with everything that he wants to do or whatever, first of all, President Trump will be the man. He'll be the boss. If Elon should be involved with the administration, it won't be full time. He's got his own things. He's a very busy man, But his influence in the election was definitely good. It was a positive thing. And he's a former Democrat that, just like Joe Rogan now, former Democrat that became a Republican, just like Tulsi Gabbard. We'll be hearing from Tulsi in just a little bit. As she talks about being on President Trump's transitional team. So stand by for that, Marty, unless you have to go to work tomorrow. Chris Rex, 9,000. Rod Steiger. Oh, Steigler. Okay. Helen is hitting the road, Jack. Well, she's got to be careful. She could hurt. She could hurt her hand or something, It's like the old Tappan Zee Bridge there that takes you from Nyack into what's the first thing over the bridge? I've taken it. I can't remember. It's real close to Westchester Medical Center, though. Tappan Zee Bridge. You drive halfway over the bridge, you pull over, you get out, and you tap on Z Bridge, and then proceed. James, the earth is flat, sir. Oh, boy. Come on now. I know someone I could put you in touch with. His first name is Robert. The earth is flat, sir, and there is a dome. Yeah, that always goes with it. The dome that is covering, and that's why the rockets don't go up. So the entire NASA space program, it's not just that the moon was New Mexico. The moon landing was New Mexico. It's, now some of those jets go very high. That'd be a very high dome. There was a series. Was it Spielberg that had something to do with the TV series, The Dome? Yeah, I remember that. Okay. There's a firmament. Maybe just back to my late 20s. You want to go back in time? By Huey Lewis in the News. Is that what you're saying? I want a time machine, and I would definitely go back, not forward. What do you think, Neo? Back or forward? I think you're a little younger. You might be brave enough to say forward, but who knows what it's going to be like. Glad to hear they are trying to get the old name back for that bridge. Well, really, they tore down the Tappan Zee Bridge. So, it's not really the Tappan Zee Bridge, but there certainly was that movement, and I guess there still is. Yeah. See, Mario Cuomo was a pretty decent man, He was a very moderate, reasonable Democrat. He was against the death penalty, and I line up on that too. I'll leave it to God to make that decision. You think life in prison is a good thing, an easy thing to do? If people are mentally ill, they'll kill whether there's a death penalty or not. Albert Nagy is here. Not Nagy, no. Albert Nagy. Hi, Tulsa. Tulsi. I thought we were going to talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma there. Tulsi may be the first female president. Oh, I love her. I could live with that. Me too. I'm going to play Tulsi in just a little bit. Yeah. You're giving me these tough names here. Mishawaka, Indiana. Cool. Yeah, Indiana came out strong for Trump. Very, very good. Don't you think? Cindy and Crawdad Land down there. Home of the big alligators. I think the squirrels lost their nuts. Well, Peanut lost his life. This is the state I live in, They allow people to be pushed in front of subway trains. They allow people to be beaten up, including cops in Times Square. Oh, but don't you have a squirrel and a raccoon in your house? Freddy the raccoon and Peanut the squirrel both got the death penalty from this squad that entered their home. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. The guy said they treated him like he was a big time criminal, and this went on for 4 or 5 hours. This is why people say stuff like, we want to ban the police, because of stuff like that. But we don't want to ban the police. Most police are wonderful, There's a lot of great FBI agents. We're going to get this all settled, It's all going to go back on track. But of course, President Trump won't be the governor, so his powers are not going to be without limits. And now they're trying to, Joe Biden, he's trying to get some kind of legislation enacted that Ukraine funding cannot be stopped by Donald Trump. Can you believe this? Why does he have this loyalty to the Ukraine? His son was on the payroll there, just comes to mind. So there you go. What can we say? Yeah, new name, Ted. New name, but again, I'm not. I'm not someone who. I'll tell you one thing. Um, what's his name? The son, Governor Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo was a lot better than his lieutenant governor. I don't think he should have let them run him out of town. Bunch of nonsense. It's the similar charges to Trump, Um, the main accuser of Andrew Cuomo, there are pictures of her hanging on him, smiling broadly. All of a sudden, it's turned into something else. And I don't know whether there was something else or not, but they hounded him out. He went from being the most popular governor in America during COVID, and then, of course, the nursing home scandal. He says he was, he was just obviously everybody was new to COVID, and he was following state guidelines when he let them into the nursing home, those that had COVID. But that was, that didn't end well, did it? But it did end. The world seems nearly back to normal today, says Albert. We need to win the House, too. Yeah, that's taken so long. I mean, come on, Arizona, give me a break. Thank God we didn't have to wait on a tally for the general election for you, Arizona. Oi. And California as well. I know that California is our biggest state, but really? Oh, man. Jimmy Samples is here. Hi. I'm good, Jimmy. I'm glad you're here. You never emailed me yet to tell me about your PTL experience. You don't have to, of course, but it is a favorite topic of mine. I read the Jim Baker biography called I Was Wrong. I read the book from his right-hand man there, Richard Dorch. I read his book, which was called Integrity, How I Lost It and My Road Back. Two incredible books for reading. I'll tell you what, Jim Baker in his old age is still doing some of his daily TV shows with a panel. He needs a lot of help at this age. I didn't see his wife last time. I don't know what's going on with that. She may have just, taken the day off because they had a full panel. But he's not as sharp as he used to be. But he is on, and he was all worried about the election. It seems. Belinda says, I think Virginia is a demo state, but I'm not demo. I was in Democrat, I see. Well, Governor Youngkin is not a liberal. He's a Republican, right? So that's a good thing. Things are changing in these states. They really are. Trump is having a hand in that. So Miss Acevedo is here. Hi, Miss Acevedo. Asa, I don't know why I have trouble with that. Miss Acevedo, welcome. Yes, I know about Back in Time. Oh, that's what you'd like to do, right, Neil? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's a number of places I would like to visit, you know. I wouldn't dress like Marty McFly did in the Old West with the pink shirt. Mad Dog. A Mad Dog Cannon? Am I saying that Tom Wilson's character? No, it would have been the same name, same last name as Back to the Future 1 and 2. Um, let me see here. Can I show you Tom Wilson tonight? I'll see. Tannen, yeah, Mad Dog Tannen, and he asks Marty his name, and he wants to be all tough, and he says Clint Eastwood. And Mad Dog says, Clint Eastwood, what kind of name is that? Or whatever he said, something like that. Hello to all. Glad Mr. T won, says Miss Acevedo. He likes our idol Elvis. Well, he does. He mentions Elvis all the time. Shell, I was up all night. Me too. Benny Johnson announced Trump won. Benny Johnson announced Trump won at 1:23 a.m. I was watching Fox at 5 in the afternoon. I started by watching some of Brian Williams on Amazon. My goodness, it was like the has-been club there. Of course, Brian Williams decided to step away from the cameras, but you had Poppy Harlow, you had Candy Jones from CNN fame at Kamala headquarters. I think he wanted to be there because he thought that would be an exciting thing to cover. Shepard Smith was back. Now, I don't know how often they're going to do this, and if they're going to, if we're going to see more of Brian Williams and more of Shepard Smith on Amazon, I don't know. But I like both of them. I always was entertained by them. I think they're both moderate Democrats. They're certainly not woke. My video is jumping now. Maybe sometimes I make the camera shake. Anybody else noticing anything with the video, guys? Hi, Jody Smith. Welcome. How are you? Tammy Wells is here too, joining Jody. Hey, everyone. Video is fine. People are trying to freak me out here. But, last time we got through 2 hours and 34 minutes, something like that, Saturday night, and the video did not go down. D. Lyle 26 is here. Hello, Jack from Indiana. Best to contact me on the email. That's I don't really bring it over into the Facebook realm. Jack the Fair Guy, FAIR, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. All good, says Ted Richards. That's good to hear. And Chris Rex is in Oklahoma. Always goes for the Republican, right? So very good. Yeah, it was just, at some point it started to get really, really good, and I knew I was going to be in there for the long haul. So it was it 1:30 or 2:30 when Trump spoke our time here in New York. I was there for that glorious event. Really, really wonderful. So, I'm a Tulsi fan, Tulsi Gabbard, who's on the President Trump's transition team. So let's hear some of her with Jesse Waters.
Tulsi Gabbard's a Trump transition team member. All right, before we get to the Democrats' drama, you as a member of the transition team, did you guys have any transition meetings, and how was last night?
Yeah, we've been in meetings all day today. Last night, really, what gave me so much hope was the American people's voice came through in spite of all that has been thrown at us, the propaganda, the lawfare, 2 assassination attempts. The American people's voices were heard. There's a mandate. What's interesting to me, Jesse, is that we've seen yet again how little the Democrats care about the American people and our voices. You've just laid it out. They are so far out of touch. They are not paying attention to why it is the American people chose President Trump to be our 47th president. Taxpayer dollars to be used to continue to fund this proxy regime change war against Russia, the Ukraine, so that when President Trump takes office, he will not have the opportunity to be able to make that decision for himself, because as he has promised, within 24 hours of being sworn in, he is committed to ending that war. That's one of many examples. There are Democrats in the House and Senate who have been working to try to limit the powers of the presidency, to take away the responsibilities that our Constitution puts in the president's hands, once again, to try to Trump-proof the presidency and disrespect and completely reject the voices of the American people and our right to decide who we want to be president and commander-in-chief.
Sorry for losing audio there. I forgot when I put my mic down, which I normally do when I cough. That meant you couldn't hear Tulsi. So once again, proof that I am a technical dodo. What happened is I took a swig of water and it went down the wrong pipe. And so now I'm, if I had a tickle before, I have one now, But you heard some of that and what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is limit the powers of President Trump by enacting legislation. Now, they've got a little over 2 months to accomplish this. And I know that the House won't vote for that under Mike Johnson. But these people are just, they're like little 3-year-olds. They can't believe they lost, and they're determined one way or another, by hook or crook, to do what they can to hurt Trump and to limit his powers, so that he can't choose not to fund the Ukraine, for example. We wasted $260 billion and it's a bombed out shell. He'll be able to work with Putin and he'll bring an end to this, I think. I think that's what's going to happen. God answered our prayers, but we're not out of the woods. We're certainly not. Still, because we still have the time from now until Inauguration Day. Who knows what they'll try from now until then. I agree with you. These are crazy, crazy times, Dirty, dirty pool. God answered our prayers, but yeah, same thing. Okay. You just said it twice. It posted twice. Yeah, I silenced the mic, Cindy. You always state the obvious, don't you? I watched a few. Also, Selena melting down and carrying on all over the place. Selena Gomez? Who is Selena? So there you go. Yeah. So they're well aware that, we didn't seem to have too many shenanigans that we know of so far in the election. But now they're trying to, in the time between now and the 20th of January, they're trying some things, that have never been tried before. Just like if Kamala had won the presidency, she'd be trying to pack the Supreme Court within the first month or two. But now, if all goes as planned, well, we definitely have the Senate, and we have that means that we have J.D. Vance that could also lodge the deciding vote if we lost a Republican senator. And things are looking good, they say, for the House. We'll see. Sandra Fair is here. I was so happy when Pennsylvania went red since I live there and because of so many electoral votes. Yes. And you need that when you got, 54 electoral votes in California. Also noticed intense hatred in the voices of the leftist journalists. Oh, it's so pathetic. I did have to watch a little bit of Rachel and Nicole Wallace and Joyless Reed and their other guest. What's his name there, who is on at 8 o'clock? I used to know his name, but I never watch him anymore, so I forget it. And then, on CNN with Jake Tapper, who was increasingly getting annoyed and saying to John King, well, I want to see this county in Pennsylvania. And that, oh, please. They used to be respected journalists. Even I would say the word beloved if you go back 15 years or something like that. Now they get yelled at in the street and they hate it. They hate it. Well, they brought it on themselves, Sam Semi. They did. They did. Selena M. Whoa, Sandra Fair. The Amish came out strong there, huh? The Amish came out in droves. No, they came out in a horse and buggy or the Greyhound bus. I've seen them on there too when I used to work up in Western New York. And I was on the bus going back to the radio station after visiting down here in the lower Hudson Valley, visiting me mum back then, and the vote speaks volumes. It sure does. There are 61 watching right now. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. That would be swell. But yeah, I was talking about that, Jody. God answered our prayers. I was praying. And with that comes the responsibility, since God answered prayer, and the prophecy, I guess, right, of Kim Clement, when he was on the Trinity Broadcasting Network. He was at some big hall when, I don't think it was a small one, when he prophesied that Trump would win the presidency twice. And I wish I could remember exactly what he said, but that it would be a great presidency, and he would have huge success with running the country. And there you go. There we are now. And Kim Clement was right. He has a daughter, Doni Clement, that was at the George Magazine Live event on August 10th at the Hot Springs, Arkansas Convention Center. Yeah. Viva Trump with a lot of P's there. Thank you for hitting the thanks button, Sam Sammy, for $2.79. I appreciate that so much. We're in a new month, and that comes with a whole new set of challenges, because I'm not going to make much on this Rush Limbaugh Homage to Rush series, because I'm not able to monetize that series, and I'm not catching the night on fire with that series. But it's a passion project, and I have to say, all 4 shows I'm very proud of. I mean, when I enjoy my own work and I'm not critical of it, That's rare, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So check out all four of the Homage to Rush series as we talk about various topics. This one, we're talking about um, God giving us a second chance, a second chance. And that comes with responsibility, comes with responsibility. Ted said they had an Amish group come up to Vermont to build a two-car garage with large upstairs. Did the job fast. We're going to have to send them to Benton. We're going to have to send them to Pastor Bob, I think, because they need help over there, apparently. And did the job fast, efficient, and are excellent people. Enjoyed the conversation with them. I see. D. Lyle, 26, my brother and his girlfriend lived 2 miles away from Valley Forge on Pothouse Road, right outside of Philadelphia. Philadelphia has become such a crime-ridden town, not all the time. Hopefully it's getting better, but they got rid of George Gaston in California. He lost by 22 points in his they're getting serious about crime. So what are they going to do about the governor who doesn't want to fulfill his oath and fight crime? Oh, we don't want the prisons getting too full. So you're going to let the thugs go into businesses and tear them apart and run out with all the loot, and the police are told to stand down? That is a violation of the oath that man took. And what's going on here when we allow stuff like that? There's got to be a provision when a governor, like in Minnesota or what have you, does not protect the people. You swore an oath to protect the people. Oh, Semi. Semi. Studio. What does that mean anyway? Is that really a name? Studio? I don't know. I just know Phil Collins is done with his performing career. He's done. Let's see here. Let's see if I missed any comments. Yeah, I know what you mean, Selena. I can only watch so much. I mean, I tuned in tonight to Aaron Burnett. I used to be kind of an Aaron Burnett fan. This is before Trump, and she took the Kool-Aid along with so many other journalists. But I tuned in, and she's interviewing America's hottest governor, Kristi Noem from South Dakota, and you can just look on her face, Aaron Burnett's face, and see the Trump derangement syndrome all over it. I mean, it's right there that she can't stand Kristi Noem, and Kristi Noem is seeing this, and all the questions are just geared to make Trump look bad. It's like Aaron Burnett not only violating what she learned the first week in journalism school, but acting like she's mental, and just make sure that you don't grow your audience. Make sure that it stays in the toilet, because apparently at CNN you can have no ratings at all and still stay on the air. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So Kristi Noem is throwing her nastiness right back at her in a very controlled way. And at the end, she lies to the governor and says, well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on. And old Kristi Noem says, mm-hmm. And Aaron Burnett goes, mm-hmm. It was like a fourth grade thing here. Fourth grade thing. She should be in the boss's office tomorrow saying, that's not the way you treat the governor of South Dakota. You got to be more professional. You got to be more fair and balanced in your questions, but none of that seems to happen there. It's just it's more than sad. It's pitiful. It's pitiful. So that's why I stay away from there. Thanks again, Sammy. Thanks button is right there with the $. And there's Cash App. Also, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56. Media Guy 56 for Cash App for a tip, okay? All right. So thank you, Miss Acevedo, for coming by. Seems like you're leaving us for tonight. I'm very appreciative that you did come by. And let's see here. Let's go to the email, see what we can find. There's James Samples. Yep, you got the right email, James. You found the email in case you want to tell me about your experience there at the PTL. You don't have to, but or anything else. You found the right email. You did. Susan Safiati. Lots of choices from her. Susan, speaking about the Kool and the Gang, gentlemen, Sir Earl Toon, who sang Jesus Loves Me with Pastor Bob playing piano last Sunday at the praise service at Household of Faith. Then they all went out to an Italian restaurant called Verona. My Verona, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. I bet you Jake Judy likes that riff. Yeah. So they all went out there. He was not the lead singer of Kool and the Gang. They sure had a whole bunch of hits, though. They sure did. Apparently the connection there is Gene Ho, who knows a lot of celebrities. He was the one who brought Sir Earl Toon to Household of Faith. So what did you guys think about that? Pam Donnelly has written, and she sent us something here. Oh, yeah, it's that picture of the 60s poster. I got to get Google Photos on that because it doesn't work. It might work better if I show it pre-recorded style. But supposedly Bob Joyce. Do you think the signature matches, Pam? Did you check that out? I haven't done that yet. Do you think that looks like the Bob Joyce signature? Because anybody could have signed that poster. We don't really have a picture of Elvis signing, and he was signing another photo. Because there's like 2 or 3 pictures on this, and you know how they can finagle things. But thank you, Pam. And Richard Lyon checked in, and M. Silver, all excited about Trump, as was Nancy DeMarco. She emailed me about 3 o'clock in the morning. We won. And there's other stuff to get to for a future show. Ted Richards, $10 on the thanks button. Thank you so much, Ted. I appreciate that so much. We're working on the payment that I will get just a few days before Christmas. So that'll come in handy, right? That'll come in handy. Every month there's expenses and what have you. And since we're a small fish in a very big pond, this really helps me. It really helps me. Claudette, welcome. Jack, glad you hope you are doing great, says Claudette. I never checked. I just found it and I remembered you wanted to see it. Yeah, I have been given the pictures and I don't know what to think about it, but I'm going to check that signature and see, if it compares to the way Bob Joyce writes his signature. Jake Judy, funny you mentioned. I was about to comment about the song having a parody by Weird Al called My Bologna Right, just like Amish paradise, right? Yes, yes, I've certainly heard My Bologna. And coming in July, Weird Al Yankovic will be at Bethel Woods. Tickets are already on sale, and we haven't tried to get some. Pretty soon, before you know it, the ones that are under the covered pavilion with actual seats, they'll be gone, and all you'll have are lawn seats. They also sell these little tiny lawn chairs that sit way low. They don't want you bringing your lawn chairs there. People do lay on blankets, though. And the thing about being out on the lawn is if it's raining, you're screwed, you know? You're just gonna have to be prepared for that. You're gonna have to be prepared for that. Drill, baby, drill. Yeah, I actually bought a couple of fracking stocks. I mean, I'm again with that, I am small time all the way. But uh I got a few little things. I used to have more, but there came a time when my son needed some money and what have you, and I gave it to him. And ever since then, I've had a very small amount in Robinhood. But I try to make things happen. So I bought a couple of oil stocks today that I've never heard of. One of them that is in the fracking business. I've only got a few shares though, so we'll see. It's not like this year I've made any real money there. I just try not to lose what I have, kind of like emergency money. But sure, Jake Judy, I think Amish Paradise is one of my favorites, but my Bologna is very good as well. Have you ever heard of the Electric Amish? That's a group? No, I have not. I've just heard of the Electric Prunes, and I think they're the ones who did Too Much to Dream last night. Yeah, good song. Good song. So, so we got 61 watching right now. This is not going to be a long one, This is a short Worldwide Ramblings. We usually do a longer show on Saturday night. So I got the Google photo of Miss Bertinelli's arm. She fell off the stage, tripped on some cable wires. There was an audience there. I don't know what she was doing, whether it was a play or some other function, but she did get a cut there on her arm. Hope I'm not grossing anybody out. It's great that she has that case on her phone because, obviously I have those colors. I have 2 shirts that color, and I have my throw that you often see. So what else? What else can I show you? I don't want to show you that one yet. Okay. Promised you. This is from the Chiller Theater. We got in free to Chiller Theater because there's a family member of Karen who works there. So it's only an hour away, and it was very affordable to us. But if you actually want to see a celebrity, you're going to have to pay for pictures or a book if they should have one, and pay for a picture with them. Right here, Back to the Future fans, is Mr. Tom Wilson, Biff in Back to the Future. He's getting old. And that's a complimentary picture because he's leaning over so you don't see his tummy, which has gotten bigger. But he was very patient, and people always want to, interact with him and have their picture taken with him. But since he was there the last time that I saw him in a picture that somebody posted from Chiller Theater, he looks considerably older, I'd have to say, and heavier. Tom Wilson from Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. And not looking too happy with the person who she's talking to at the moment, but I'm sure that wasn't all the time. She had a table. You remember the night the lights went out in Georgia? You remember Mama, right? Mama's Family, right? And you remember her on the Carol Burnett show, often playing Carol's sister, Miss Vicki Lawrence, right there. Vicki Lawrence at Chiller Theater. Um, the background was obviously cropped out. I think Google Photos did that for me. And all right, you want to see the DeLorean? Do you want to see the DeLorean? It was outside. I don't think you couldn't get in the DeLorean. You couldn't mess with it either. There were ropes there. But you could. Now, if Doc is there himself, then he sits in the DeLorean. You stand next to him and crouch down and take the picture. But he wasn't there at this Chiller Theater. My hair is standing up as the wind blows it. But here we are at Chiller Theater in Parsippany, New Jersey. Parsippany, New Jersey. There is the DeLorean. At one of the Hollywood conventions, they were all there, including Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox was there, and, a number of the cast members. Oh, let's see. You want to see a really cool Corvette. This was down at the Colonial Diner a couple of weeks back. Beautiful. I'm not a Corvette person by any means, but this was really cool. This one was really cool. Haven't seen my friend Leon since Trump won the election, but he did text me and said, "You won. You won." Let me see here. Where did I put my phone? Oh, yeah, there it is. Let me turn it on because I turned it off. Jack, I think God was waiting until the right time to step in. I think he knew now. I think he knew now that America needs Trump more than ever. Well, we need Jesus more than ever, but he will use Trump because I think Trump is in a position now where he gives more reverence to God, and he is prone to be very receptive to helping Christians. He counsels with Franklin Graham often, and I think that, as I've said before, that even though Trump has been foolish at times, I think he fulfills the scripture that says, God's saying, "I will use the foolishness of this world to confound the wise." I will use the foolishness of this world to confound the wise. So let's see here. Just wanted to read you my response to my friend Leon. Because Leon simply wrote to me this morning. I got it when I turned on my phone. He simply wrote, "You won. You won." Because he does not like Donald Trump, and he's an old school Democrat. And I keep trying to tell him there is no more Democratic Party. You allowed your party, not you personally, but the Democrats allowed their party to be overtaken by the progressives. So I said, "Hey, my friend, I feel peace and joy, but I also feel the challenge to thank God by changing my ways because as He gave America another chance last night, I'm responsible to show my gratitude by doing better. So, World War III averted, no more billions to the Ukraine, no more kids having their genitals mutilated, no more men in the locker rooms or in female sports, good relations with Putin and Xi, and a major hit for the woke insanity. So the country won, and glory be to God. That's what I wrote to my friend Leon. That was my response. You see, so now they're trying to trump Trump's powers once he gets into office. I think the Supreme Court will move on that. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. It is, but on the good news, Jack Smith, according to ABC News, has said that he's just going to close up the remaining cases that he has against President Trump down in Atlanta. By the way, in terms of the New York case with D.A. Bragg, that was taken to the appellate division, and you probably heard that the New York appellate division, the appellate court was going to throw it out. Just obviously, it's BS. They know that. They know you can't turn a bookkeeping error for something that would be no more than a misdemeanor. You can't be turning that, and by the way that had expired, it was no longer viable. You can't turn that into 34 felonies. So that's going away. Atlanta was falling apart. And of course, when you're the president, you can't be charged with a crime while you're in office. I guess if it was an extreme situation, if the president went mad or something, then the Supreme Court could step in, of course. And Chris, are you any relation to Darren Criss? Karen has a major crush on Darren Criss. He's not doing too much since he played Versace. I mean, he didn't have a string of hits after that, but, acting roles. He also sings. He does. And he has a club, Darren Criss. It is Darren, right? In Hollywood, he has a music club. You are very welcome, Selena. Well, she's talking to Selena. So cool. I have noticed more and more people are doing the same as you. So what did you do, Selena? You don't watch regular TV anymore. I only watch YouTube stuff. That's what Leon, my friend, does. He doesn't have regular TV. Been that way for several years now. I would miss stuff, you can get it if you pay for it right there on your computer. You can get anything, right? But, I've got the only right now, the only subscription we have for a premium channel is the Discovery Channel because my Moonshiners, that comes on next Tuesday night, I guess. Yeah, next Tuesday night. Is that the 12th? Whenever the 12th is. And but I'm going to have to get Showtime for Dexter New Blood. Huge Dexter fan, and Dexter New Blood is coming on relatively soon. And then in 2025, in the summer of 2025, Dexter Resurrection. New Blood is like a prequel. There'll be a young actor playing Dexter. Christian Slater will play Dexter's father this time around. I love Christian Slater. And Michael C. Hall is the executive producer. Of course, he is the grown-up Dexter, the biggest show in the history of Showtime, and the fans are just itching for it to come back. He's the narrator, and he's the executive producer of Dexter New Blood. But as soon as that wraps, they're going to start filming Dexter Resurrection, which will star Michael C. Hall. How is he going to come back from the dead? Well, they never said he was dead. He was stabbed, but he was never pronounced dead. And it'll start right there. And so his son will be back on it, Harry, the kid who played Harry. They were going to do a show on Harry, but then all the fans said, "Hey, he's nice. He's all right. We don't have anything against him, but we want Michael C. Hall." we tune in for Dexter. I don't know if they can bring back Deb because they definitely killed her. They definitely killed her. Oh well, she was dead in the Dexter season 8, but she was a ghost, advising him to be a good boy, just like his father did. I guess I don't know if they actually covered this in the series, but his father passed away, I think, in real life. So they explained it that Dexter's father had died in his old age. Huh. So that's a Showtime. I must have Showtime for those shows. There's some shows, it's like a chocolate croissant. I can't pass by a good chocolate croissant. That's one of the hardest things about going to Westchester, but I can do it because we have better chocolate croissants. There's a Panera Bread in the Westchester ambulatory building where I go for every 3 months I go for my echocardiograms because I have cardiomyopathy and I have a defibrillator / pacemaker in my chest. No symptoms. I'm doing great. Camzyos. Camzyos is the very expensive medication I'm on. Thank God I worked for the city of New York for 19 years as a peace officer. So that means I only pay, I think it's down to $10 now. It was $15. So again, thanks Ted Richards for hitting the thanks button for $10. I really appreciate that. And also Sammy for $2.79. That helps a lot. Any amount, whether it's $1, $2, $5, whatever the amount, it helps me greatly. Yeah, so I think I'm caught up in my comments. I can't wait until grocery prices get back to sanity. $7 for a bag of potato chips because I thought, I might need them. As I watched the election results, got the hell of a good dip to go with it. Always the French onion. I don't try anything else. It's been French onion all my life. And that's a hell of a good dip, though, isn't it? Isn't it, Tammy? Have you had it? Other than that, I don't like sour cream. We only go to Texas Roadhouse once or twice a year, but they always want to say, well, if you want your potato loaded, and that'll be sour cream and bacon and cheese and whatever. And I will say, no, just butter, please, just butter. I don't need a loaded baked potato because I enjoy the baked potatoes so much with just butter. Okie from Muskogee, Okie roamer. You're an Okie who roams. I had no idea there was a new season of Dexter. Yeah, it's there's 2 new shows coming up. Lisa the singer, $2. Thank you very much. And then it says 25, so I'm very confused. But yeah, message retracted. I see. $2 from Lisa. Thank you very, very much. As I say, it all helps. It all helps very much. I had no idea there was a season of Dexter, a new season. Yes, the prequel is filming as we speak. Well, maybe not at this very moment, with Michael C. Hall as the narrator, executive producer. This is awesome. 3rd best news today. Yeah, if it's like Dark Shadows for me. I don't know if you watched the original Dark Shadows series. There's certain shows that, Moonshiners is another one for me. I've seen all 13 seasons. And then Lisa comes back with $20. My goodness, on the thanks button. Thank you very much. This gives me a good night here on a well, it's now early Thursday morning, isn't it? We gotta go do the laundry today. Both our washer and dryer broke, so we go to Mr. Washy, usually on Wednesday, but I've noticed Thursday is a better day now. It's slower. Wednesday has started to pick up, and we're just thrilled when we go in there and there's nobody there. Mr. Washy also owns the dry cleaner, Dutch Girl Cleaners, just a few doors down from his laundry that he took over. He bought that. He doesn't own the buildings. It's in the strip mall, So thank you, Lisa, for that $20. I really appreciate it so much. But they had such a big response to Dexter season 8, Dexter New Blood, they called it, right? New Blood. And then they killed him off, what looked to be killing him off at the end of the 10th episode. And freaking Showtime was inundated. That's how they say it sometimes now. Inundated with angry fans. We waited 2-3 years for this to come back on the air, and you kill him in the end. Are you guys nuts? I mean, the ratings were phenomenal. There's nothing on Showtime that's ever equaled Dexter. Nothing. So, they got, what are we going to do here? They should have known this. And Michael C. Hall kind of went along with it, But then when he saw the fan mail response, he said, well, there is obviously a huge appetite for more Dexter. So he started thinking about being willing to do more. And then they proposed the sequel with his son. Maybe he'd get to be in it by being a ghost there or something occasionally or something. The audience didn't like that idea. They said, we want Michael C. Hall. We want Michael C. Hall. So they came up with two things. They came up with Dexter First Blood, which is the story of him coming up, learning the code. You only kill the bad people. You don't kill good people. That's the code that his father taught him. And this time around, when Dexter's a young boy, Christian Slater will be his father, one of my favorite actors. So that's great. And that'll run 10 episodes, and no decision on whether it will continue. But as soon as Michael C. Hall is narrating that, and he's the executive producer of that series, as soon as they wrap that up, soon after, he will begin filming Dexter Resurrection, starring Michael C. Hall. And he's all excited about that. When he goes to the fan conventions, they go crazy for him. So, glad to bring you the good news, because if you're a Dexter fan like I am, you know how exciting that is. I was trying to send $25. Oh, well, I got close. Well, I thank you for the 20 so much, Lisa. Popcorn Sutton is legit. Popcorn Sutton, well, he's a character on Moonshiners, but he's long passed away. He's the legend that they try to live up to, They have some Popcorn Sutton recipes, and they found some Popcorn Sutton hidden moonshine, and they gave his widow the cash for that moonshine. She needed that money, So they bought it off her. And they gave her one jug of moonshine. I've never had a sip in my life of moonshine, but I love the show. And now they got Amanda Bryant. She's got this red hair. She's a red-haired beauty. And that's bringing a lot of the guys into Moonshiners, But I like Mark and Digger and Tickle. Uh-oh, here comes some siren. Is it the fire department? You won't even hear it on this mic. Well, maybe you did hear that. I know, I can tell you right now where they're going. They're going right up to the homeless shelter, 38 Seward Avenue. I know they are. They go there like 35 times a year. I'd be charging them by now. What do you think, Bayou Girl? Also known as Teresa Lee Leonard. Hello, Jack. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Glad you're here joining us tonight. What did you hear, Pam Donnelly? I say something and I've forgotten what I just said, so it's that bad. It's that bad, But did you hear about Amanda Bryant? As I did say that recently. Popcorn Sutton, yeah, he did pass away, but there is a gentleman that used to go to Household of Faith. Have you heard of that church? It's in Benton, Arkansas. Patrick Vilas might have heard of it. You heard the fire truck? Did you hear it, Patrick? I get excited when you hear it because I feel like we're live on the scene here, There could be another one too. There's usually more than one, but then again, they're so used to these homeless calls. It's someone burning food in the microwave, although it is 12:30 in the morning here. Someone stuck in the elevator. That's another biggie. There's several places that have stuck in the elevator. It's tough being a volunteer fireman. It really is. And we have paid firemen too in the city. We do. But most of them are volunteers. And there was a amendment or whatever you call it on the back of the voting slip on the paper ballot, uh, extending more perks for the volunteer firemen. Yes, no, and I definitely colored in a yes on that one. I definitely did. I had some of Popcorn Sutton moonshine from his family, taking it to the legit side. While several of the moonshiners, including, the Tim Smith is the biggest one. He went legal in North Carolina, but he still is on the show and does come into South Carolina. See how much of what we see on TV is really moonshine being made. They don't talk about that. Every reality show rehearses scenes. You realize that, right? Um, it has to be right for television. That doesn't mean they don't capture stuff in real time sometimes, but if they think that you could have been more dramatic or if you could have emphasized something, they'll say, well, let's do that again. Let's do that again. And they always need things. So when the guy Josh, who's always getting injured, he got in a serious accident at the Daytona on a was it in a car or a dirt bike? I can't remember. I know I was in California. I was in California. I was in Florida, and I was going past Daytona around the time Josh from Moonshiners had that accident. And he was in the hospital for 2-3 months, but he made a miraculous recovery. He had just finished his filming for Moonshiners for that season. And then he went down to Daytona. I went down there to see Jimmy Sturr, and I had already booked this really cheap rate at the hotel a year before. And the only way I got it so cheap, because I always have to do dirt cheap vacations, was to book it so far away and with no refund. So I went down there, and it was interesting to learn. I was in the area when he had his crash, but he's okay now. We're having a hoot. You mean like a good owl would have? I love owls. I do, Patrick Wilburn. Good morning. Yes, good morning. That's right. You're right here in New York, aren't you? Are you the man in Latham, or am I confusing you with someone? It was a motorcycle, says D. Lyle 26. Yeah. He has gotten injured so many times, Josh. He's missing a few fingers. He's missing a few fingers. Was amazing how Popcorn couldn't know the proof or could know the proof by giving the bottle a shake and looking at it. Yeah, I've seen Mark and Digger do that. Always was spot on. And they've got film of Popcorn dancing and what have you, but he's been gone for a long time. But there is this guy who used to go to Household of Faith that many people know. That was my nickname for him, Popcorn Sutton. That was the nickname. Yeah, you bought the moonshine from a legal store in the state of Tennessee. Did you go to Buc-ee's while you were in Tennessee? Or are you from there? No, you're not from there, right? Did you go to Buc-ee's? Got to go to Buc-ee's. Anytime you see a Buc-ee's, you got to go in. Trust me on this one. You won't want to miss Buc-ee's. Now, if you're driving a 18-wheeler, you can't go in. They'll say, go on, get. Go on, get. This is not for 18-wheelers or box trucks either. But if you have a huge RV, you can stay overnight there and they'll leave you alone, Yeah, it is amazing. I think I've never had sip, Ted. Now, the Mark and Digger hazelnut moonshine, I love hazelnut. That would be the one I'd want to try. I always wanted to go to, they usually do their personal appearances in spring and summer, They're trying to wrap up the season now. They're still filming, or they were recently, but they're trying to wrap up the season. And they'll start airing the shows in November, and they try to get them to go to May. It just depends. They've done as many as 17 shows for a season, whereas most it's only 10. Dexter's always 10, for example. I'm just a yapping away, Teresa Lee Leonard. 11:33 here in Louisiana, 12:33 here in the Hudson Valley. Yeah. So how far away are you from Cindy in South Louisiana, which Trump took? So, maybe they're not going to say the election of Trump was illegitimate. They're not even going to try to say, well, you can't have a insurrectionist or a convicted felon. We're not sure what they're going to do, but they're trying to limit his powers. And I don't think it's going to work. I know Mike Johnson won't be having it. And I think the Supreme Court would step in. Adam Schiff became a senator. What a Schiff show. What a Schiff head he is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he squeaked in there to the Senate in California, but he's not going to have a party that's in the majority. It's going to be the Republicans. And that is sweet, sweet, sweet. That's right. Crossville, the biggest Buc-ee's is in Crossville, right? 3 times now, 1 in Crossville. I see. I'm trying to make a story that you're not writing. 3 times you've been to Buc-ee's, 1 in Crossville. That's the new one, just open, right? It's huge there, I hear. And 2 times in Georgia. Okay, I got you. Georgia came through for us despite having the likes of Senator Warnoff. How did that ever happen? I don't get it. Thank God we didn't get Abrams there. She'll probably try to run again. Oy. She loses by 57,000 votes and says she won the election. 57,000 votes. I think it was something like that. Yeah, you heard the sirens, Pam. That's cool. It was only 1 truck. And it never amounts to anything. If it is an elevator rescue at the homeless shelter up on the grounds of the Old State Hospital, they won't be long. They'll be coming back soon. But it's tough. You just get settled down for the night, and then that happens. If it's a fire, it's one thing. I would say more than 50% of the calls turn out to be nothing. You get a fair amount of the automatic alarm at 22 Main Street. I can say 22 Main Street because we don't have a Main Street. We have West and East Main, but we don't have a Main Street. What's going on with you, Patrick? How you doing tonight? I'm glad you're here. 57 watching right now. So it was a long night, and Trump gave a fairly short speech when he took to the podium in Mar-a-Lago, right when Fox News announced that Trump had gone over the 270 mark to 277 by their calculations. It's their predictions. There was a voice that says something like, "Yes, Trump 2024. Oh, yeah." Something like that. It was Clay Travis from the Clay and Buck Show. He was down there in Mar-a-Lago. I think he does a show from West Palm Beach. He can travel and do it other places, and Buck is somewhere else usually. They're not together. They sound like they are on the radio. And he had been to the bar a few times, Clay said, but yet he was, after 2.5 hours sleep, something like that, he was ready to go. I heard the open of the Clay and Buck Show on WOR 710 out of New York. I actually, this is what I did. Since I hadn't gotten much sleep, I got up. I took a shower, and then I came over here to see what was what with emails and stuff, and I had my pajama bottoms on and just my robe, and then I said, "Oh, it's getting to be noontime. I got to hear Clay and Buck." So I went downstairs, went out the back door, and Brad, the guy who lives downstairs, sees me getting into my car with my slippers, my long pajama bottoms, and my robe. And he just stops dead in his tracks because he thinks I'm going to drive out that way. But I'm just there to turn on the radio and hear Clay and Buck. And their first half hour was electric. I stayed there for a half an hour, and they were so pumped and so happy, as many of us were. And people were all over the country, and Shelley in Canada, and beyond, beyond, beyond. Because what happens in America affects all the other countries. The first person, world leader, to call President-elect Trump, was Netanyahu, Bibi Netanyahu, Prime Minister Netanyahu, and they talked for like 20 minutes. And he said how glad he was that he was going to have a strong alliance again from the White House. And he will. That doesn't mean that Trump gives him a blank check or says yes to things that he doesn't believe in, but he is very pro-Israel. And that doesn't mean he doesn't think about the horrors of death in Gaza, especially when it's innocent lives, War is hell, and this is one of those things. Trump may give some suggestions about how to wind things down, but he's not going to try to strong arm him like President Biden. I guess Biden is going to speak today. Oh boy. People were saying now they're blaming it all on President Biden. He should have never run for a second term. He only gave Kamala 100 days. But what they miss, of course, is that the vice president that he picked, that nobody else would have picked, is just not popular. She's not qualified for the job. She can't even answer questions. A lot of embarrassing gaffes from her, not because she's in cognitive decline, but because she's not versed on the issues. So, there's all kind of the blame game going on. And of course, the people on MSNBC, the ladies on The View, I had to watch. I never watched The View, but I watched the first 10 minutes. They were somewhat subdued. You could tell that they were extremely disappointed. Like you can tell it's all over Rachel Maddow's face. Too bad. That's how we felt in 2020, right? That's how we felt. We thought it would be bad, but we never thought it would be like let 20 million people just waltz into the country. Next thing you know, they're raping your children and killing your daughter and what have you. Legal immigration. Trump says we want people to come, but legally. So deportation should begin almost immediately. But again, they're trying to limit his powers. They're trying to govern for him. And so this will be a big battle. And, he's got to be well protected along with all of his family all the time, because this is the world we live in 2024. Okay. Are we, is the chat still going? Somebody say something so I know that the chat didn't freeze. Yes, Moonshiners, November 12th. Dexter, New Blood, maybe around Christmas time. I'm not sure. Of the exact date of that. But I know there'll be shows that Karen wants to see on HBO Max, too. Those Sex and the City girls. I think they're in a nursing home now, aren't they? Sex from the nursing home. I don't know. That and 90 Day Fiance, I cannot take. Although the only time I ever watched a little bit of Sex and the City is when the actor from Big Fat Greek Wedding was on there. Playing one of her boyfriends. I mean, it was like they portray Sarah Jessica Parker as the most beautiful woman in the universe, and she gets A-list guys all the time. And one of them was the gentleman, I know his name like I know my own, from Greek Fat Wedding. So I watched because he was on it. Mr. Big was good too. He ended up dying in their comeback series, and then he ended up in all kinds of controversy as an actor. So what could have been a great springboard didn't turn out to be that for him. It's always boys behaving badly. It's the same subject. I think we've frozen. The chat is at least frozen. There's no indication that the stream is. Maybe someone emailed me. Let me check. No, the last one is still Mr. Samples, Jimmy Samples. Well, I wasn't going to be on too long anyway. It's 12:45 in the morning. And it's early Thursday morning. Laundry day. I got to run into the ShopRite and get those cases of order and et cetera, et cetera. There's chores to do today for sure, because I kept saying to Karen, I can't leave. I got to see Harris speak and what have you. It's clear though that the chat. Now, Andy told me a trick. I'll just try it. Can I move this? He made it sound like I could move it to the left screen. That's not working as I try to drag it. So it's time anyway. I thank you so much for joining me for Worldwide Ramblings. Close in prayer and just thank you, Lord Jesus, for showing that you will not be mocked, that you will push back evil forces when you, in your timing, not our timing, feels that it's time to do it. We thank you for holding back evil forces, delivering us from people in our government that just don't belong there. We know your ways are not our ways, so we trust in you. But you gave me peace as I watched that election. I think you are using President Trump and will use him in a mighty way. Keep him safe, Lord. We pray for a hedge of protection around him and his entire family. We ask you to forgive us of our sins, cleanse us with your most precious blood. I pray for everyone here, for their needs. Some are sick, some have pain issues, and some have lost people precious to them. We lift all of them up. Praise you, Lord Jesus Christ. Let's see here. One more time, I'll check the email. The chat is working on our end, says Christopher. But I don't see it advancing. That's a new, you never know what it's going to be. Well, at least you got to continue to talk to each other. But the last thing I see here on my chat is Ted Richards saying, glad to hear they will be back on soon. I guess he's talking about Moonshiners. Yeah, that's all I see. So thank you for those who hit the thanks button. Thank you, Lisa, $20 on the thanks button. Thank you, Sammy, $2.79. Ted Richards at $10. That helps me tremendously. There's always a new snafu for me to figure out here. By the way, Oki Aroma, I think you have been here before. So come back and join us Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Getting dark so early, a little bit more every day, and then it'll start going back the other way December 21st. But we fell back. Arizona didn't, but we did. We didn't. So, mine, for some reason, has stopped. But again, we've been on for a good while now. And we always go longer, it seems, on Saturday night. We'll have more Bob Joyce material and more things to show you, et cetera, et cetera. So thanks, every one of you. Have a blessed Thursday. God is showing himself to be in our midst and let every knee bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Because after all, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. Once again, now we're having trouble ending the stream. They don't tell me how to say it's really me. So how would I do that? This is weird stuff happening these days, folks. Weird stuff.